Top 20 attention grabbing winter fragrances. So here we have MFK Oud Silk Mood. It's your typical oud and rose combination really, but it does have a freshness to it and you can wear this all year round. It's a nice entry level oud really, good for the winter as well as all year round. At 19 we have Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP. So this might raise some eyebrows, but I found it is relatively attention grabbing if you spray your clothes. This is one a bit like Versace Parfum that I find if I spray my skin it fades very, very quickly. But if you overspray a bit and you spray your clothes, it does have reasonable performance, I found. So this is a nice warm ginger, amber, tobacco combination. Some grapefruit in here as well. Very addictive, and the scent itself is really, really nice. And like I say, if you use that spraying technique, you might find it gets noticed a bit more. At 18, we're going with Ultra Male by Jean Paul Gaultier. So it's never been one of my absolute favorites, but I do respect what it's trying to do. It is a real attention grabber and a statement maker. To me, it smells a bit kind of candy floss, cotton candy type of a sickly sweet. So it's not massively my thing. But if I do want something like sweet and loud that's an attention grabber, I would grab this. Also check out 9 PM by Havane. That's a good alternative to this. But yeah, this is a pear vanilla combo primarily. It is sweet and I would say it's a little bit challenging, so not for everyone. But if you want to make a statement and have an attention grabber, it's a good pick for that. At 17, we're going with the discontinued Pure Havane by Thierry Mugler. So this smells similar to Naxos by Zaharoff. If you don't get along with that so well and you want to try something a bit different, you could check this one out. It's another honey and tobacco like combination. It's sweet, but not like sickly sweet. It's very good. It does get attention. It performs well. And I really like this for the colder months. At 16, we're going with Kalan by Parfums. So this is kind of a love it or hate it really. A lot of people don't tend to like this in the fragrance community, which is a bit of a shame. If you do like it though, it's a hidden gem for you. I like it a lot. It's a nice peppery scent. So you have kind of a spicy, peppery orange scent here. It does have a slight resemblance to Baccarat Rouge, while also being relatively different. Performance very, very good. I found projection and longevity on this is really good. So if it is one that you like and you're looking for a real powerhouse that's going to get you noticed, you might find this is a real dark horse. At 15, we're going with the unusual and unique Chocolate Greedy by Montale. So this is definitely a bit out there. It's like an out and out gourmand. If you really like the idea of smelling like a chocolate cake, like a chocolate dessert, like Cocoa Pops or Cocoa Krispies, whatever the cereal is known as where you are, you could check this one out. Some people would say it's not the most practical, as sometimes smelling too gimmicky isn't exactly what you want, but if that sounds appealing to you and you do want to smell like an out and out chocolate cake, and you want one with good performance, because this does perform well, so it will get you noticed, check out Chocolate Greedy. At 14, we're going with the Forever Wanted Elixir by Azzaro. So this is a little bit out there also in terms of being a raspberry and leather combination. I imagine you can't think of that combination done elsewhere too much. I know Tuscan leather has an element of that, but that's more like sofa leather. This is more, for me, the leather isn't overpowering here. It's not like a leather bomb like Tuscan leather, for example. And you do get that raspberry, like a real hit of it. So I find the opening is very raspberry heavy, which I've never noticed in a fragrance before. And for me, the raspberry sticks around a long time and does blend really well with that leather. So it's a bit different. It's quite a fun fragrance, quite playful, and it will get noticed. So if you want an attention grabber, this is one of the best ones to go for in the Azzaro Wanted line. At 13, we have Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Parfum. So it is one of my favorites in terms of attention grabbers. It's not right at the top of the list, but it will get you noticed. This performance is good. So if you think of the EDP with the cherry, leather and vanilla, this is similar but a nice step up. So it's a nice kind of leather vanilla combination. Really, really addictive. If you want like a high-end designer fragrance for the winter that's sweet but not like sickly sweet, smells very classy and high quality, check it out. You may really, really love this one. At 12, we're going with Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. So it's never been one of my personal favourites, certainly not in recent times anyway. I have gone off it a bit, but even so, it's never one of my massive personal favourites. But in terms of reactions, I can say this gets really good reactions. It's one of my most complimented ever fragrances. Whenever I wore it, I tended to get really good reactions from this one. A nice tobacco and vanilla combination, done really well. Performance is very strong. It's great for this time of year because it kind of feels like December in a bottle, to use that cliche. So it does have that real kind of Christmassy, festive type of a feel. So yeah, I like it in a way, like I like it in small doses, but in terms of getting noticed and being an attention grabber with good reactions, I can recommend Tobacco Vanille. At 11, we're going with Tonka Cola by Mancera. So I've had some really good reactions from this one, almost so much that it surprised me. It opens up with that Coca-Cola like blast that does smell very realistic. They capture that Coca-Cola type of a scent very well. And then it transitions into a spicy tonka bean type of a scent. So primarily I'd say this is a spicy scent. But if you like the idea of smelling like an out and out Coca-Cola, like that real nice soda-like vibe, check this one out. At 10, we have Wanted by Night by Azzaro. So if we're talking the Azzaros, I would say this is the most attention-grabbing one. So if that's your main focus with a fragrance, you want something that's really going to get you noticed and that really does pack a punch, then check this one out. It is a little bit abrasive, I find. It's sort of a, I would say kind of a love it or hate it one, in that it's not a safe blind buy. I'd say something like the Most Wanted Parfum is a lot safer than this. This is kind of a bit brash and unapologetic and in your face, but people might quite like that for the winter months. I've seen reactions on YouTube, like girls giving good feedback on this one. I can't say I've used it a lot in day-to-day life, and I can't like speak of any reactions to this really personally. I imagine it's something that could be a crowd pleaser because it's the CI just pretty good, the performance is pretty good, so hence why it's on this list. You will get noticed, and I do like the scent too. It's a nice combination of a lot of things like cinnamon, tobacco, fruity notes, incense. There's a lot going on here. A try before you buy, but a fun fragrance and definitely gets noticed. At 9, we have Nishane Hacivat X. So you may associate this with the summer, as it is a fresh fragrance, but it packs enough of a punch and it's deep enough to last all year round. This would be quite a good signature scent if you're really into fruity fragrances. Like if you like that juicy pineapple type of a scent, check this one out. Performance is very, very strong. It's an extrait de parfum, so it lasts a long time. People ask me sometimes, I had a recent comment asking the differences between this and the original Hacivat. The main thing to point out is the oak moss difference. So if you're familiar with the original Hacivat, you probably know it's quite mossy. It's got a bit of a, I'd say slightly sour oak moss dry down, which has quite sharp, like kind of tang to it, a bit of a sourness. So that's not for everyone. You'll either love that or you'll hate it. I really wasn't a big fan of it. So for me, Hacivat X solves that problem. For me, this is basically the good parts of Hacivat while removing the not so good parts. So I really like this, and it's ideal for the winter. It's ideal all year round, like that juicy fruity smell, never going to go out of season. So at 8, we have Black Orchid by Tom Ford. I have the Parfum in front of me here. I prefer the Parfum to the other versions because of the added rum note, and I find it slightly more masculine. Black Orchid, as you know, is a unisex fragrance. I find the Parfum is probably the most masculine leaning of the line, and also it's not quite as harsh, maybe I would say. This sticks a bit closer to the skin. It smells a bit like a chocolate orange to me, if you're familiar with those chocolate orange candies you can get. But yeah, it's very, I had to be on this list really because it is such a powerhouse, it is such an attention grabber. But yeah, it's certainly a try before you buy. It's not like mass appealing really. It's, if it's going to work for you, like it, you know, it's one of those, if you like it, you probably really love it and it could really be your thing. But a lot of people wouldn't be sure on this one, so definitely try before you buy. But if you like the idea of like a patchouli, truffle, floral scent that's really going to get noticed, check it out, but do go easy with the sprays, I would suggest. At 7, we're going with Zaharoff Signature Leather Tabac. So I know it's a slightly controversial brand here amongst YouTubers, well, YouTube commenters really. I think some people feel that influencers push these too much, whether Zaharoff is in partnership with some of the YouTubers, I'm not sure on that, but I do know there's a lot of noise surrounding that. This is the only one of theirs I actually own. I have sampled Signature Tabac, which I thought was quite nice. Had a bit of a Play-Doh feel, that there's something a little bit odd about that, but I did come around about that by the time I'd finished the sample. But of the two I sampled a long time ago, Signature Leather Tabac was definitely my favourite of the two. I just think it's really kind of out there, like, you know, kind of a rebellious fragrance, like in your face, I don't care type of a thing. The leather and the tobacco merge really well. It's very sort of masculine, like I say, brash, unapologetic, and performance on this is really, really good. I've found it sticks to clothes for a long, long time. It does have something a little rubbery about it, but that's like part of its charm, really. It's, like I say, a bit out there, a bit different from everything else. So if you like the description, you should check this one out. At 6, we're going with Stronger With You Tobacco by Armani. Sadly discontinued, as is the case with all of these flankers, really. I know Amber seems to be sticking around a while. A commenter was talking to me recently about sandalwood and now how it's difficult to find already, which is amazing, really. That one has gone very fast, it seems, but sandalwood getting more difficult to find. Tobacco before that disappeared, so you might struggle to get your hands on this now, but if you like the description, it might be worth checking out, because I do really love this. So if you're a tobacco fan and a Stronger With You fan and you want them merged together, or to see what that's like, then you'll like this. You'll definitely want to check it out. Dry down, very, very addictive. I think it's one of the most masculine Stronger With Yous. You could make the argument that the Stronger With You line is slightly unisex and overly sweet. I am a fan, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it serves its purpose. If I want something sweet and just pleasant for November, December, January type of time, I love the Stronger With Yous, but I think tobacco leans quite masculine and has a bit of an edge on the others, so I love this one a lot. At 5, we have the Dior Sauvage Elixir. I am a big fan of this. There's some noticeable lavender in here, as well as things like licorice. It's a really nice, spicy, deep fragrance. Performance very, very good on this one. If you want something classy and a real heavy hitter for the cold months, you could go for this for sure. It does resemble the Parfum a little bit with Sauvage, but other than that, it drifts from the originals, really. Like, this to the EDT is a big jump. It's not like that Ambroxan Blast. This does its own thing. It's very kind of spicy, masculine, and yeah, I am a fan. I think it's really nice. It's very high quality. I can see why people like it so much. So here we have Red Tobacco by Mancera. I've only placed this at number 4 because it's not one of my personal favourites. I do think it's a bit challenging. Certainly the opening is a bit challenging, and also the performance is a bit challenging to me because it's a bit too strong. So it fits the list absolutely, in that it's an attention grabber. But they're all attention grabbers to come as well. And for me, it's not my favourite. Like, the smell is all right. It doesn't do that much for me. I do think the dry down is by far the best part here. It transitions into quite a nice, strong vanilla, and that scent sticks around on clothes a long time. I've told the story before of how when I first tried this at Selfridges in London a couple of years ago, maybe slightly longer, I sprayed a fleece and then I took that off and folded it up in the corridor. I tried a lot of fragrances that day in London, so I wasn't sure at first which one it was, but the smell that was lingering for like a week was Red Tobacco. I think I was unaware on that visit of how strong this was, and I sprayed pretty heavily what I was wearing, and I did come to regret that a little bit, because to me it can be a bit much, the ultra strong scent that sticks around. But you know, that's the beauty of it too. If you want something that's really gonna pack a punch and be a powerhouse and get you noticed, like if you really want to get noticed, like walking into a store or you're at some function or like anywhere really, and you just want to have a scent that's like your thing, that really packs a punch, then you'll like this. I wouldn't wear it to like the office or anything like that, or anything too intimate. It might look a bit try hard really, because it's so strong. 1 or 2 sprays of this only, I would suggest. But yeah, not massively my favourite, but I respect what it does, and it had to be on this list. At 3, we're going with Haltane by Parfums de Marly. Smells a bit like Oud for Greatness by Initio. Very earthy. There's some praline in here as well, adding a slight gourmand aspect, but you don't pick that up too much. It's mostly a sort of earthy smell with this one. You have a bit of freshness on the top. There's a nice kind of sparkling opening. Not necessarily sparkling, but certainly fresh. I think you get like bergamot and a couple of other things, like some florals. So it's a nice initial blast, and then it dries down into quite a heavy, earthy scent. Projection, very, very good on this one. And also longevity, very good. I've had great reactions from this, and I can safely say it does get noticed. I've been told many times that this was one that has been picked up in there and that has been associated with me. So it definitely does get noticed. It packs a punch, and if you want a Parfum Stamali that's really going to be a statement maker and that performs very well in the cold weather, check out Haltane. At 2 we have Roja Enigma, or Creation E, depending on where you're from. As I know, it's got a different name. I think in the US it's Creation E, but it's Enigma here in the UK. I like this a lot. I think it's really, really nice. It's kind of a boozy Dr. Pepper type of a scent. Quite a strong cognac note in this, as well as ginger and a nice vanilla dry down. Performance is excellent, projection is excellent, lasts and lasts. It smells very high quality and natural, while also having a lot of uniqueness to it. The best of the Rojas I've tried. I wanted to put it really high in this list because I've been wearing it a lot recently, and I've noticed just how well it's done in the cold air. It really is a cold weather fragrance that shines, and I rate this very, very highly. So this might not be popular, but in top spot I wanted to put Centaurus by Creed. This is my own personal opinion, and I do think this is excellent. I've been noticing recently just how much it does rip through the cold air, and how it really is a winter powerhouse that does get noticed. It smells very high quality. If you're a Creed fan but you're fed up with the poor performance of Aventus and the likes, and you want a natural smelling powerhouse that's geared towards the cold weather, you'll probably really like this. So in the top you have cinnamon, tobacco, cardamom and pink pepper. In the mid you get sandalwood, patchouli, heliotrope, jasmine and geranium. And in the base you have bourbon vanilla, benzoin, tonka bean, tolu balsam and ambroxan. But yeah, performance, one of the big plus points here. If you like the Parfum Stamali type of fragrances and you want to see Creed's take on that kind of DNA, check this one out. It does have that really nice dry down into that vanilla, benzoin, tonka bean mix. So with those three vanillic type of notes, you can kind of imagine the direction this goes in. But you do get those really nice spices on the top, like the cardamom, the tobacco, the cinnamon, and a nice mid of quite a strong patchouli, as well as the florals like geranium, heliotrope, and jasmine. But I rate this very, very highly. Performance is excellent, definitely gets noticed, and I love this a lot. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I will catch you next time.